What's up, everybody? This is Greg Birch with ADV1 Brokers, and this is the ADV1 podcast. This is a podcast we come to you each and every weekday with relevant topics and trainings. And today we have a very special episode. We have a guest speaker, Mr. Lance Rodrigue of the Telesales division. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over a new platform that we are rolling out. So by the time this airs, we will have rolled it out. But what I want to do is turn this over to Lance. Lance, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Greg. Great, man. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome, man. It's my pleasure. So Lance, in the past, so we've been working together ever since I came on board and trying to increase and improve the telesales division. And we are always looking to iterate and improve and help out with the live transfers and make sure that agents have the best possible live transfers. And so we finally, I think we kind of lucked out. We found a really good vendor that's been able to work with us and create from scratch a live transfer for us that is going to be unique to just ADV1 Brokers. Mm-hmm. And we're finishing up our test of these leads right now. So I'm going to let you kind of go over and explain the vendor, who they are, and what's the power of these leads and why they're so successful.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. So the great thing that separates us from other vendors that we have available, we have two other ones that are available. One that we'll be launching through Opt in a very short period of time. So we'll have tiers of live transfers. But what makes Chase's leads so superior is that the data is opt-in data, meaning they went on Google, went to a website, filled out their information, and then got back to us. And typically it's within a short period of time of 48 hours, 72 hours that they requested this information. So this is how we can get such a high conversion ratio, which most agents will see about a 70% conversion ratio, hence why this one costs a little bit more in the $50 mark. But for myself, I'm at a 9 for 11. I just looked at my closing ratio, and that's part-time with myself. Antoine, somebody who's full-time, is 6 for 8 on these live transfers. He just had a week close to near $13,000 on the live transfer system. So it gives the agent the ability to have somebody on the phone that's looking for life insurance, still with the 2-minute buffer time. So I like to tell agents, you're getting an appointment for $50. Guaranteed 100%, 100% contact ratio.
I want to dig into that actually, because if you think about it like this, okay, because of mail rates, our mortgage protection leads went up to $60 a piece. Okay, average agent, if they get 10 mortgage protection leads a week, okay, that's going to be $600. Okay, but if you call those 10 leads, how many appointments are going to set? You're probably going to set about 8. That 7 to 8, but we're going to say 8. We're going to high end. Okay. So out of those 8, you're probably going to sit with 7. And out of those 7, you're going to sell 5 to 6. Okay. So you're going to spend $600 to make 6 sales. Okay. Mm-hmm. And of those 6 sales, let's just say still, we're going to just keep the numbers average. That's going to be 1,000 AP. It's going to be 6,000 AP. Okay. Now, if you did $600 worth of transfers, that's going to be 12 full appointments.
Yeah.
And even if you're doing a 50% close ratio, that means you're closing half of them, which everyone's been over 50% that's doing the test. Every single agent has been over 50% that's doing the test. So let's say, even if you did 6, that's still going to be the same exact AP, and you didn't do anything, and you can do that in one day. You didn't go anywhere.
One day.
Drive anywhere. You just were in front of your computer. You let the transfers, you let the appointments come to you. You can do that in one day.
Yeah.
And you can knock that out. Like, why would you not?
Yeah. No more no-shows. You're getting appointments. You're doing it in the comfort of your home, or if you have the luxury of being in an office, if you can get to the major leagues and make millions of dollars, you only have to hit the ball 3 out of 10 times and you're a multimillionaire in baseball. Yeah. We're giving agents a contact ratio of 100%. They are going to speak with somebody that's interested in our services. 100%. They get 2 minutes to qualify them. If they're a suspect, you get them off the phone. If they're a prospect, you take them through the process. You help that family. You can't do that with any other lead type. It's a luxury that most people have never been exposed to. It gives us as agents the power to really qualify the individual and move forward. Take them down the process. Imagine having a direct mail lead where you get to qualify them for 2 minutes and say, yeah, they're not really interested. Move on to the next. It's incredible. And I think people underestimate the value of being able to get on the phone with somebody that is 100% interested in our services. And if they're not, you're off the phone. You're not paying for the lead. So that's great.
To dig into that 2-minute wait period, you know, you and I have developed, I have my own kind of separate one. You have one. They're both very good, but they have the option. They have the script right there. You can literally verify a lot of information right there at the front end, which a lot of it's already verified. So when you get this transfer, they've already filled out a form. They went through a chat bot that asked a bunch of questions, and they answered 100% of the questions, 100% of them. Once they've gone through that, then they're called.
Yep.
They're called by somebody, or they're connected to somebody to get on the phone with a fronter who's going to go ahead and verify all their information. They're also going to verify that they have a bank account, that they have an email address, and that they're looking for insurance, and all this information being verified. And they're willing to talk to somebody today to see if they can get some protection in place. So when the transfer is sent over to you, they're going to tell you, hey, this is the person. They have a bank account. This is the conditions, that the medical conditions they have. Okay. But you can use that 2 minutes to still re-verify again within that 2 minutes to verify that that's what they're looking for and that you're going to help them today. So when that 2 minutes starts, it literally starts from the second that they say, hey, I got this person, can you take them? And you say yes. And then you'll hear a beep. And that beep is the fronter that now jumped off the line, but they're still listening, and they're listening to everything that's going on. So if within that first 2 minutes, if you say, hey, this person's not really looking for insurance today, I can't help them, and you let go, the fronter was there to hear it, you don't get charged. But I don't think that, agents don't want to realize just how awesome that is.
Yeah.
Because you can literally imagine, be like, hey man, this is what we're going to do today.
Yeah, imagine, Greg, having a lead tell you they have an active checking account before you even set the appointment, walked into the house. Now, while we're on the phone, we know if they have an active checking or a debit card or credit card to give us a form of payment. So we know before we even give our full presentation that they have what we need to get them through the process. So,
and they know we're asking for it, so they know that this costs money. So you can't ask
no more. It's free.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more than that. And when we have brand new agents, I just had a call with Antoine, who is a pretty new agent. He's been here for 2 weeks. He's taken 8 of these transfers so far and closed 6. And he even told me, he was like, dude, one of these transfers I probably shouldn't have even took. And I knew I shouldn't have took, but I still took it for training purposes because the call was being recorded and there was people that were listening. And so I wanted to still see how far I could push this call and how far I could get. But if I wasn't on a training call, I would have closed them out in the first 2 minutes. So I would really be 6 of 7. So having a 75% ratio, even though he knew he could be higher, that's about the average. You're right. They're sitting at like a 60 to 70% close ratio. You can't ask for much more than that.
No. And it's information is proprietary. The client's been verified nearly 3 times because filling it out, the fronter verifies it, and then I re-verify with the script on making sure that they have an active checking or some form of payment. So when you're getting through the process, you know that they have what we need to be able to provide us to get the application submitted. So 1,000%. Also, too, Greg, it goes hand in hand with the vendor as far as how many are available. The issues that we're running into is making sure there's enough individuals to receive the calls. So the expectation is to be working 5 to 8 hours, not cherry picking. Oh, I'll work 1 hour today, 2 hours today. It's individuals that are looking to commit and get results. I mean, results where they can tangibly see 5 to 10,000 deposit into their account because they're willing to put in the hours. If you're on Eastern time, you're working from 9 to 6 p.m. We don't allocate a lunchtime. We're all grown adults. You just pick when you want to take a lunch, jump offline. So
absolutely,
you have the ability to work anytime you want throughout that time frame, but the expectation is you're only having to put 5 to 8 hours. Where can you make this type of money? When I factor out how much you make, it's well over $100 an hour. For most of these agents, we're looking at 160 for the ones that are in a higher production, $160 per hour when they average out what their net profit minus their expense. So what's actually left over, they're making well over $100 an hour to do live transfers.
No, absolutely. And the back end is that you have to understand that when you have a lead vendor that is domestically based, that is paying a call center to transfer these leads and verify them, like that triple verification you're talking about, like they have to make an assumption about how many people and how many transfers they can send a day. And if we don't have the amount of people, they're losing money. So that's why we have to you have to have the agents that are going to be like, hey, yeah, I'm going to do this. So what I always recommend is when you're doing live transfers, do it for a week. Do a test, do it for a week, and commit to it for that week and see if it makes sense for you. See if it's like something that you can implement on the side on top of maybe doing mortgage protection or going in home or doing remote sales. But even Simon Makika, guess what? He did a massive IUL off of a live transfer. He did like a 5-figure IUL off of a live transfer. Yeah, it's insane. Like, why would you not do that? Like, so it has to do with, it has nothing to do with, oh, well, this lead type doesn't work because it is, you can't do this. No, you can, as long as you have the expertise, and you're only going to get the experience and the expertise if you do it consistently and you commit to it. And so I think the next concern that most people have, and then we'll try and close this out, is, you know, most people are concerned with, you know, having the training and feeling comfortable taking live transfers and having the script available. And so what I tell people is to jump on your training, but what would you recommend for somebody brand new coming in? What would you recommend for them in order for them to find the most success?
Okay. Preparation, I would say, is key, Greg. I know a lot of times people want to do it their own way, but I really believe those 2 minutes are really designed psychology-wise in that sale process. It's really cut just right to the point, verbatim, read through it, interject your personality with it, because when you're prepared, you then get to focus on the delivery. People like to think that it's what you say is important. People only hear 30% of what you actually say. 55% of that is responsible on your tonality. So how you say it is actually more important than what you say. And when you're prepared and you know what to say, you now get to focus on what's important is on the delivery. So my thoughts are, you guys, if you want to be good at this, this is your life here, this is your career, prepare, know the script, study those first 2 minutes, get on the Zoom meetings on Mondays and Thursdays, whether it's being hosted by me or someone else. You'll start to see some of these other top producers hosting those meetings now as well, doing different topics, but role play. Absolutely role play. Like I've memorized it. Like I can be in the middle of having a podcast with you, Greg, jump off, get on a sales call without having to worry about, I need 10 minutes to, you know, decompress and get my thoughts. Like it's so embedded in myself because I've done it so many times. My idea is to get people to get there to where they're confident in what they're saying, that it's just second nature for them. And they get to focus on lowering their tone, pressing in, bringing out the ethos, the emotion of when they're talking to the prospect. So my initial thought is study that script. Don't reinvent the wheel. You know, it's designed to give you structure, not for you to read everything verbatim after the 2 minutes, but it's there to help you in the process. You can be personable, interject your personality. A lot of the times, too, is we're working diligently to get the wait time to about 10 to 20 minutes. Right now, the expectation is about 45 minutes in between calls. You guys, that's 5 appointments a day. If you're on there for 5 hours, which we encourage you to be for 8, but if you're on there for 5 hours and you were receiving, let's say we'll even be generous, let's say an hour. That's 5 appointments, guaranteed appointments that you're going to speak to somebody looking for our services. So that's 25 a week. And I promise you, if you're closing at 7, you should see 3 of those 5 close. And if you're not seeing those returns, you call me. We can do some role play. There's tons of avenues to get plugged in to reach out to me. So in between those calls, you guys, you can be recruiting. You can be self-development, reading books. There's so much you can do in between those live transfers. I don't want to encourage you to go do the dishes, go eat, make a sandwich. Yes, you got to eat, but use that time to run your business. Follow up with agents that are new, making sure they have the resources they need, scripts, they have their carrier numbers. These are all opportunities to build your business and yourself. So don't look at it as like, oh, I don't want to be idle for 45 minutes. What else would you do if you were running face to face? You would technically be driving from house to house. So here's an opportunity to build your business. Utilize and maximize that time that you have available to do so. So preparation is everything, Greg. Being prepared, knowing what to say, you can then focus on how you want to say that. So also having the agent guide. Let's say if you're coming from a practice IMO and you don't have the companies that I always recommend, if you're not familiar with that carrier, go to that carrier's website, download the agent guide, get familiar with their submit process, get familiar with prescriptions, what put them in what category, whether it's preferred, standard, or if it knocks it down to a modified or a graded. Take the time to get the knowledge you need for product knowledge. Product knowledge, just because you sign up for a college course doesn't make you an expert in that course because you showed up. The idea is there's time you have to spend outside of the classroom getting the skill set or developing your knowledge in that. Same thing with the carriers is I can't get on the phone and tell you everything you need to know about a particular carrier. It's going to come a time where you need to get familiar with the prescription. If it has a body chart, get familiar with the body chart so that you're not missing them and knocking them down to a modified because you could have pushed them up 5 pounds. These are things that people can do in between those calls that will really help them get the success. Watch YouTube videos or one of the video trainings that we have, Greg. There's so many things that people can do in between to really develop and hone in their skills. I look at it as if somebody said, Lance, you can make $500,000 a year, but here's what you're going to go do. I would literally take the time that I'm not doing the activity and practice and practice and practice. Just like when we saw, I don't know if you're old enough, Greg, when the Lakers used to have Shaquille O'Neal, they used to call it Shaq Attack,
Yeah.
where they would always foul him with Kobe Bryant so that he would get what? To the free throw. And what do you think Shaq spent most of his time doing? Practicing free throws. He would spend endless hours practicing free throws because in the game, they would foul him to send him to the free throw line because they were afraid that he was going to drive it to the hole. So he did all that outside practice so that when he got in the game, he was prepared. So that's the way I want to look at it. Is like you have every agent that gets on these live transfers has the potential of making $500,000 if they put in the work that they need. The skill set can be taught. So it's having the right mindset and attitude of going out and self-developing so that they can get better and add more value to their team.
Mhm. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I would say in summation is know the script. Okay. I tell people practice the script every single day. If you're doing telesales, you need to be waking up in the morning, spending 30 minutes reading the script out loud, reading it out loud, making those words your words, not using your own words, but using those words and saying them so many times that they become your words, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're going to get very comfortable with it. But that comes up when you get comfortable, you become confident when you say it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that confidence comes out over the phone, and it makes people feel comfortable with giving you their social, their banking information, because you're confident about it. You know what you're doing. And then on the back end, like you said, study the carriers, know which carriers you're going to, know their underwriting processes, know how to do the EAPs, know the height weight charts, know these things. If you don't know them off the top of your head, have them readily available. Have them on your computer where you can pull them up really quickly. Like these are simple things you can do to prepare instead of being like, well, I don't know the high weight. Let me go ask somebody. No, bro, you're in the thick of it. You're in the fight. This isn't like you just went into war and you're like, well, how do I load my weapon? Let me go ask my first sergeant. No, it's too late, man. You should already learn how to load your weapon and how to fire. Okay. So prepare, do yourself the service of being diligent and hardworking and prepare. Like we're saying, and I promise you do that, you're going to be at the 70-75% closing ratio with these leads, and you're gonna make a lot of money. So these leads, they we're finishing up the test right now. They're rolling out here in the next week or so. This is going to air actually tomorrow, Thursday. But we want to make sure that we can get this information, this message out that we have this new testing, we have this new live transfer platform that's going live, and we're ready for agents to come and start knocking it out of the park. Okay. Get on training calls with Lance, do the live transfer training calls, get on the script, make sure you're doing the training, and use these, because these are a great way for anybody to work from anywhere and be successful. So Lance, any last parting words for the agents that are watching this, or to help them with the live transfers, or to help them prepare, anything like that?
Yes. I would say just the process. They say, well, what's the call to action? What do we do next? I would say the first thing you want to do is reach out to myself or Greg or one of your managers to get plugged in. We're going to send you the lead order form. That's for us to just get a card on file. You don't have to prepay for these leads. So you pay for them as they go. So if you take 2 for the day, you get billed at the end of the day for 2. If you only take 1, you get billed for 1. If you take 5, you get billed for 5. So it's a pay as you take process. Once you get the lead order form in for us to have the card on file, you'll ask to send your full name, email. We'll create a user login for you to get access to the platform. Once you're on the platform has a script built in, but as you and I just discussed, Greg, be prepared, know it ahead of time, but it has it right there in front of you. So the next call to action, if you're interested in doing the live transfers, you want to know more, reach out to myself, Greg, or your upline. We'll get you plugged in, getting you the success that you're looking for. Because I truly believe this is recession proof. This is season proof, because when the election rolls down, holidays roll around, we know other types of leads will slow down. With live transfers, it doesn't. Everybody's near a phone. Everybody knows how to pick up a phone. Anybody can do this. I think if you have the right attitude and the right work ethic, there's no reason why you can't succeed in this. I can teach you skill set. I'm not interested in teaching you nice or personability. I'm interested in teaching skill set to go out there and win.
Yep. Awesome. Lance, thank you so much for coming on board and talking to the agents about this live transfer that's rolling out. Hey, everyone, if you have any questions about the live transfers, you reach out to Lance. If you're watching this and you want to get on live transfers and you're in another company and you're like, dude, they got this live transfer server or system that's closing 70% on average with agents. It's real, people.
Yeah.
This is real. Then Lance, how can they get a hold of you in order to get on this?
Perfect. So they can call me. If I don't answer, leave a voicemail or just shoot me a text. It's 702-600-2171, 702-600-2171.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for coming on board, Lance. Everyone else, thank you for watching this. This is the ADV1 podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because we come to you each and every weekday. And if you got anything out of this, if you're excited about these live transfers, or if you learned anything from Lance, or you just were entertained by our conversation, then do me a favor. Share this content with somebody else that can get something out of it. If you got nothing from it, that's fine. Don't share it. I don't care. But if you did, make sure you share it. That's the fee. I want to make sure that we can help all the agents out there in the industry, whether they're with us with ADV1 or not. So thanks.